Hello guys, in this React Native tutorial I'm going to show you how to implement Stripe payment gateway with your React Native application. Alright, so this is the Stripe account that I've been working with. This is one of the Stripe accounts. So in here I'm in the home page, and when you head over to the payments, you can see I have done some test transactions, but for your side, I mean, you might not be seeing any of these records since you haven't done any transactions. All right. So first, what you have to do is you can go to the developer section by clicking this button, and in here you can go to the API keys, and you're going to need these two API keys when it comes to implement Stripe with React Native. Alright, first of all I will go to Stripe React Native documentation. Alright, in here let's go to the so they are recommending the mobile payment element. Let's go head over to there. Alright, so in here I mean, they have mentioned every steps for both server side and client side that we have to implement in order to get the Stripe with our application. So first of all, I mean, even we have created this as a mobile application, we must have a server side for this application. So for the server side, I'm using NextJs project. All right, so I'm not going to show you how to create a NextJs project. I have already created a new one. It is a simple command. You can find the command for that in online. All right, so it's a really easy thing to create a NextJS project, and once you created that project, you can create a folder called pages inside the folder structure, and inside that folder structure, inside that folder, pages folder, you can create the API folder. All right, so in API folder we can create a file, create a TypeScript file, and that file will become an API process. All right, so I have created a new file called Stripe server process. All right, so first let's go to the Stripe documentation. So first they are saying that we have to implement Stripe Stripe library into our server side application. So this is the npm command for that. Let's copy that one. All right, let's paste it. So since NextJS follow the Node.js framework, we can use our libraries using these npm commands, or you can use yarn if you have the yarn with your computer. All right, so after that we have to add this library into our React Native application. So this is the React Native library for Stripe. Okay, so they are saying to use yarn, but we can switch over to the npm, and let's copy our npm command, and this is my React Native project. So in the React Native project, I have created a component file called Stripe payment. This is just a file, just a regular file, and apart from that I have some other files as well, because this is not a new project, but it is fine. You can use the same code in your new project. And I have this main app.tsx file as well here. I will go to that file in a minute. Okay, first I will install that Stripe library file as well in my React Native project. All right, after that if you are using, you are using, this is for iOS, you have to use npx pod install, and this will install all the pod files related to that library. Okay, I have already done this, so I'm not gonna do it, but you must do it, otherwise this won't be working in the iOS application. So after that, let's head over to the documentation, and in here, so the first they are saying something that we have to do in our client side project. That means in our mobile application project, we have to surround our main component with this Stripe provider component. All right, so I have already done it. Let's go to the React Native project, and in the app component, you see I have my main stack component, and I have covered that. I have surrounded that main stack component with Stripe provider component. All right, so in here you have to first define your publishable key. Okay, you can get your publishable key from API keys, and in here you can copy this key. All right, so this is your publishable key. So this is what you have to use when you create the Stripe provider component. All right, so I have already done it. And for the URL scheme, you can define your URL. I mean, if you deployed your server-side project in a online domain, you can add that URL in here. And if you are using Apple Pay with Stripe, you have to have your application name in here. All right, so but I'm not gonna do that right now. I'm just gonna keep it as in the documentation. So only thing what I have change it is the publishable key. All right, so after that, let's continue. All right, so then we have to enable a payment method in our Stripe account. Okay, so let's click here, and let's see whether we have enabled our payment methods or not. Okay, let's go down. Okay, as you can see, I have enabled the card payment method. All right, so I mean you only have to enable just one. All right, after that you need to at least one payment method. Okay, we have enabled one payment method. All right, so that's it. Okay, let's go back. Okay, all right, then what we have to do is add an endpoint. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so this is how we can this is the first step that we have to do in order to create a payment intent. All right, so first we have to confirm everything with the server side, and so we are not storing the Stripe secret key in our client side. Okay, so that is not a secure way to do it. So that's why we are do every process in the server side, and we are only getting the result according to that process to client side. All right, so first this is the code we have to implement in the server side. So I'm going to copy the whole code. Okay, let's go to the our web project. In the web project, I have created this Stripe server side process file in our API folder. Okay, let's paste it in here. All right, so since we are not using any kind of Express or some kind of those servers, we have to create a next server side function. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this section right here and just repaste it in here, and in here let's export default async let's say function, and let's say the function name is handler. All right, I'm gonna remove this arrow function symbol. All right, so since we are using TypeScript, we have to assign a data type to this request and response. For the request, I will use next request, and for the response, I will use next response. All right, let's see. So in here, all right, let's say next API response, and this is next API request. All right, so I have created the server-side implementation for this Stripe. So in this code, first Stripe will create a customer for that particular payment. It will create a customer, and then it will create a ephemeral key, and so I'm gonna just ignore that. All right, then it will create a payment intent. So in the payment intent, it's like the payment view where you have to like enter your card details and other necessary details for the payment, and in here the payment intent will be created using the amount that you are going to pay, and it will use the currency type. All right, and also it will use the custom ID that you have just created in here. And for this they have mentioned like that in the latest version API, it's specifying the automatic payment methods is an optional thing. All right, so like they are using it automatically. So okay, so we don't have to like define this one. I mean, it is fine if you even define it in here. All right, so I'm gonna use Great British Pound, since I'm using that as my main currency type in my Stripe account. You can use the whatever the currency type you prefer. And for the amount, I'm gonna send the amount from the client side to the server side. All right, for that I'm gonna create a new constant. Let's say const data equal, I'm gonna get the amount from the server side, request.body, and I'm gonna use that data variable data.cost. All right, so the cost will come from the client side to the server side, and again in the server side they will create a payment intent, and the payment intent will be sent out to the client side. So then we can show that payment intent in our application. Okay, so this is the implementation that we have to do in server side. Let's then run this project. To run this project, I will use npm run dev. All right, so now you can access your project using this URL. Okay, I will just copy that URL, and let's head out to the mobile application. I'm going into the component that I have just created. So this is our screen, and in here I'm gonna first create first I'm gonna like paste my URL in here as a comment. Then let's head over to the documentation. Okay, so this is what you have to do in the client side. Okay, so client side, they have created this checkout screen component. So I have created this Stripe payment component, and I'm going to copy every code inside this. Okay, like this. Let's paste it in here. All right, let's see. I have to import Stripe from the library that we have just installed, and let's get the state. And for the API URL, I'm going to create a new constant called API URL equal. So our API URL will be our main URL /API /. Okay, we don't have to use the slash because this is the slash is already there. All right, so this is our API URL, and the file that we have just created in the server side project is Stripe server side process. I'm going to copy that file, and I'm going to paste it in here. All right, so this is the whole URL for our specific API endpoint. All right, so this is the API path, and this is the endpoint. So this is the request will be a post type request, and they have already passed some kind of special headers to make sure that this is a JSON type request. And then we have to pass the JSON object. Let's say body, I would say JSON dot string 5. I can pass our cost from client side to server side. So I have already catched that cost from here. So I would pass cost as, let's say, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna create a new text field so we can enter the amount that we wanted to make as a payment. All right, so let's create a text input. I will quickly create my design. All right, I have created this screen, and I'm going to create a new state so we can get the text field value. Let's say payment set, or let's say amount set amount equal use state. I can make this as a string because it doesn't matter really. I mean, we just have to send the value into the server side in a whatever format. Okay, so we don't have to like worry about the data type. Okay, so when it comes to the cost that we have to provide for this type, the cost is like something like this. So let's say if you wanted to make a payment worth of 1.95 pounds. All right, so when it comes to the number, we can't have the floating point. All right, we can't have the decimal point. If it's the 1.95, then we have to define 195. All right, let's say the payment is 27.35, then we have like say 23.35. All right, we have to ignore the decimal point. So what I'm gonna do is here, I'm gonna replace the amount. I'm gonna replace the decimal point, the dot, to empty string. All right, so then if I entered an amount like 2.46, then it will become 246. All right, so this is the kind of value format that is required by the Stripe for the payment. All right, then I'm gonna use this set amount state variable into the text input. Let's say on change text, we set amount v. All right, so it will grab the value that I type in the text field. All right, so then once I click the button, it will execute the initial payment sheet function, and in here in the first statement, it will communicate with the server side using the fetch payment sheet function. So it will execute the server side API endpoint, and from there I will get all the necessary details from the server side. All right, so the payment intent, ephemeral key, and customer. All right, so the main thing we need to get is the payment intent. All right, so then in the payment by using the payment intent that we got from the server side, I have called initial payment sheet function, which comes with the Stripe library. Okay, initial payment sheet, you will see you have got it from the Stripe hook. All right, so for that we can like change our company name. We can like enter our company name here as the merchant display name. All right, let's say ABC company, and for the customer ID, we are getting it from the server side, the customer ID that just we have created from the server side. All right, and we have used the ephemeral key, and we have used in the payment intent, and using those details we are creating a payment intent. So then let's go to our documentation for the final step. Okay, so for the finally, this is how we can open our payment intent. So it will be a bottom sheet. All right, so we have like copy this code, or we can like copy the whole function and replace that function with the this empty one. All right. Okay, I'm going to import the alert. All right. So once you created the payment sheet successfully, then it will trigger. Then we have to trigger this open payment sheet function immediately. All right. So I'm going to copy that one and I'm going to paste it in here. So I'm going to call that payment sheet function right after we initiate the payment sheet. All right. So once we initiate the payment sheet, then we are going to open the bottom sheet, which shows you the form that you have to enter the bank details. All right. So let's run this application, but before that we have to like change something in the app component. So right now I have used my stack as the component. I'm gonna change this into the Stripe payment component so that we can see that screen at the startup of the application like this. All right. So once we open the application, we can immediately see that component and we will be able to see the text field and the button we have just created. All right, so let's run this application. I'm going to run this as iOS. All right, so the reason that I run this application as iOS, right now I haven't deployed this server-side project, so it will work as in the local host. The thing is, my emulator doesn't recognize any localhost URL. So okay, but my simulator is working fine with the localhost, so that's why I'm using my iOS simulator to show this progress to you. Okay, but this works for both Android and iOS. Okay, I already run the server-side application as well, so I can access the server-side from this URL. Okay, let's see. This is the iOS simulator and this is my Metro command line interface. Okay, still the application is building. Let's wait a few moments. Alright, application has built successfully. Let's see whether application is opening or not. Alright, it has opened. Okay, so make sure you have make sure the server-side application is also running in the Node.js server. Alright. Okay, I'm getting this error. Native gesture handler must be used. Okay, let's go to the React Native application and see the import statements. Okay, so you know what? I have used text input from native gesture handler. I'm going to remove that. So usually you will get that kind of error once when you import a wrong text input. Alright, so you have to use the React Native one. Alright, so I'm in the screen now. So this is my small text view and I can see the checkout button here. Alright, so at first checkout button is disabled. I will remove that code. I have to remove this disable one. Alright, so we are not actually following 100% as in the documentation. Alright, so we have to like use some of our own ways to interpret this example. Alright, now we have the text field running back normally. Let's type 2.56. I'm going to click checkout. Okay, let's wait a moment. Alright, I got this bottom sheet. Okay, so in here they have mentioned something you haven't provided the return URL field. You can, I mean, this is just a warning, but you can like add a return URL into your payment intent. So in here payment sheet I can add a return URL. Let's say I'm going to use the same URL. All right. And as you can see, once I click this button, I could see a delay, but I had no idea that something has going in the backend. All right. So like we have to like show that process to the customer that there is something going at the backend. Okay. So to do that, I'm going to use indicator, activity indicator. So I can do something like this. Let's use this loading state to indicate that there is a process going. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this set loading as true when I hit the button, and once it's done, for the first time when the payment sheet is going to open, I'm gonna false it. All right. Then I'm going to use that loading indicating state. If there is a loading, then I'm going to show an activity indicator like this. All right, let's see. Okay, I will refresh the application. Okay, now you can't see any kind of indicator at the beginning, and I'm gonna type, let's say 5.78. Once I click the checkout, then you will be able to see that indicator. All right, so it will indicate that there is a process going on, and as you can see at the bottom sheet, you will see that exact amount that we have just put in our text field in the pay button. So in order to test this, they have like providing some details on how to test your payment in Stripe. So just type Stripe test payment, and in the documentation, okay, so this is the test card. You can use this Visa card as a testing card. So it's like 424242, something like that. So let's try 424242. All right. For the month and year, you can use some valid month, future month and future year. So let's say 12, 27. And CVV, you can use any kind of 3 digits. All right. And let's click the payment. All right, processing. And as you can see, the payment has successful. All right. All right, now let's get head over to the Stripe account, and this Stripe account, let's go to the payment, and I will refresh this page, and as you can see, all right, let's wait. Yeah, as you can see, the last payment that I got is 578 is the payment that I just have made. All right. So this is the easy way that you can implement Stripe with your React Native application. And once you got the confirmation that your payment got succeeded, then you can do whatever the necessary steps you have to do in the application. Okay, so these are the only thing that you have to know, and I will tell you a few more details. So it's like, so once we create a payment intent, for that there will be a record. Okay, as you can see, that record will indicate as an incompleted one. So let me show you that. So let's say I'm gonna create a payment intent, let's say £6. All right, so let's check out. All right, I'm getting an error. Okay, let's refresh this one. Okay, let's say check out. Okay, no such a file directory, React Native. Okay, so I'm getting a server-side error. I think it should be a server-side error. Okay, so amount must be at least, okay, you know what? So if I enter just the 6, it will indicate it is like a 6 pennies. All right, and in the error it says that the least amount should be at least 30 penny. All right, so we have to like enter, let's say I would say 6.0. okay, so this will indicate a £6. All right, so let's check out again. All right, now the payment intent has created and I can see the £6 in the button. I'm going to just close it. All right, so the payments has been cancelled. And once you get head over the payment your Stripe account, let's refresh this one. All right, so there is a record for that. Okay, so there is a record for that, and that record will say it is an incompleted order. Okay, so I mean, you can't do anything to that incompleted order, but you can refund the ones that got completed. All right, and again, another thing is, if you head over to the developers, if you go to the API keys, so there is the secret API key, and I think I couldn't mention that when I implemented the server side. So in server side, you have to like copy your Stripe secret key. Okay, so this is where you have to put your Stripe server secret key, but you make sure that you are not going to use it as this, because you have to like use put this key in your env file. Okay, so I'm not going to open that file because I have my real keys contained in that file, so I'm not going to open that. So in that file you should implement your all the secret keys, so you won't be seeing that in your code. All right, okay. And another thing is that once you got your secret key, like I said before, you can't have that code if you are in the live mode. You have to like create a new code. Okay, so once you got that secret key, if you wanna get that secret key again, you have to like store in it somewhere else. Okay, so you can't reveal that secret key again and again once you're in the live mode. You can do it in the testing mode, but you can't do it in the live mode. All right, so that's everything I wanted to mention in this tutorial. I will do another tutorial on how to do the Stripe Connect, so then the customers that who's using your application can get payment from the Stripe. All right, so I will be back with that tutorial. Until then, have a great day.